Hey everyone, welcome back. We have a really special project for you guys. Here's a sneak peek of what you're going to see, and wait until the end to see what it turns into.
Guys, this project was very special for us to do, especially to me. A few years ago, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. It was a long journey, and although I cannot understand what she felt going through it, as a family member of someone who has fought this, it was always so encouraging to see things bring awareness to breast cancer. So that was our goal for this video, that it encourages you, that it brings hope, and reminds you that you are not alone. We hope you love this video as much as we loved making it for you.
All right guys, we're getting ready for the dirty pour. As you can see, we're pretty much ready. We've already primed the board. We've taped it off and put Gorilla Tape around it. That way we're not just losing resin off the side. And instead of just pouring out piles, I'm gonna actually pour it on some cardboard to flatten it off to get my veins a lot wider. That way I can cover more square footage as I pour these. And since I'm doing that, I really don't need to do a thin flood coated clear first, so we're not gonna do that. I'm just gonna go directly into my pour. And when you're doing dirty pours like this, you wanna use about 6 to 8 ounces per square foot. So it's actually quite a bit. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you have enough resin when you're doing this. So again, I'm gonna pour it on the board, and then we're just gonna start letting it drip off. You can see how much wider of a vein it'll do than just dumping it out in a bead. And again, it doesn't really matter how we let this drip off. You can't screw these up. We just want to get the majority of the board coated. And so this is our first batch. We'll go and we'll make some more. We have about 3 of these that we can do. So I did my first one over here, so I'm gonna start my next batch from this side and work over. And all I'm trying to do is fill in everywhere that doesn't have epoxy. And then once we get smaller spots, we can start using a smaller board. Notice how I'm only pouring on half of this because I don't necessarily need to get epoxy out where I already have it. Now we can kind of thicken it up. And you can do obviously any colors with this technique. Now I can just pour almost like a thinner bead and just try to fill in. All we're trying to do is just coat the whole board. If I need to just get on my edge, just pour it on the edge. All right, now I'll mix up another one. All right, now that we got the majority coated, I'm gonna use a smaller container and just start kind of filling in everywhere else. And if you have really small spots, you can just kind of pour it out of the container too. But again, we want to get right to that edge, like stuff like right here. pour a long skinny one. That way it's not super wide. Obviously need to get a little bit more out through here. Again, the whole idea is just to fill in everywhere, and layering it like I am gives you a cooler effect too. Going back over random spots. And then I can just take majority of this and just run it down this edge. So again, this is all gonna level out too. It's got a lot to level out still. All right guys, so our last pour, again, a lot of this has got a self-level. It's gonna fill in a lot of these spots. I just wanna go through, since we didn't do a thin coat of clear epoxy to minimize surface tension, this is the stuff you'll deal with. And by flattening it off we're basically pouring this out kind of like a sheet of plastic. So we're gonna get bubbles because we're trapping air underneath the epoxy, which is fine because we're gonna mix this with isopropyl and those are all gonna pop. So don't worry about those. So I'm gonna go around and just pinpoint some of these spots. Again, going over the top gives you really cool effects. And then the slower you go, the thinner it'll go down and it'll start to separate. So now what we can do is I have a little left over in some of these containers, and I'll just pinch it. So I pour out a kind of a skinny vein, and I'll kind of just start highlighting some of these designs out here. Just kind of following one of these edges. Of this off, maybe tone down some of these spots here. So I'm gonna mix this with our metallic and then spray isopropyl on it because we're gonna be doing white lines on this with the flag. So you'll kind of see whenever you want bigger cells, you really want to mist it. And what I mean is just kind of mist the surface, and then when you spray it, it'll create some really cool cells. See how the bubbles are just popping? We're not gonna torch this at all because we don't have to. And I'll show you what I mean by these, by misting it, what it does. So if you come over here to the black, You can kind of see it looks like fracture veins all through that black. So super cool way. Obviously, if you're doing metallic silver over a silver metallic, it's not going to show up as much, but on the blacks it will, because it's more prominent. So I'll go around, get some more of that showing up on the black areas. All right guys, so we're getting ready to pull the tape. You want to hit it about the right time. If you pull it too early, your top design might kind of blend out and run down the edges and kind of pull a lot of this and make it look different. So we wait about 45 minutes to an hour and a half, 2 hours, obviously depending on the temps. And the easiest way to check is you can kind of pull it back. And if it seems really, really runny, yeah, it's kind of like holding its shape. It's about the perfect time. The other way to check is, say you have some leftover resin on a table. You can kind of see how it's like kind of really sticky, but it's still movable. Like I can still paint that on. So this is about the perfect time. And then we'll just start pulling it off, and it should start slowly flowing over the edge. And then we'll come back in about 5 minutes and brush our edges on. It's really starting to run over here when we first pulled it. So to help that kind of flow even, I'm gonna take the paintbrush, make sure you get epoxy on it first. Because if we never brush this in, resin's gonna never flow in these spots. It's surface tension, so it's basically going everywhere the beads are, that's where the resin's gonna wanna flow. So we're just gonna brush these edges in. All right guys, so check it out. After we brushed it in, got rid of the surface tension, everything's starting to flow over evenly, and it's taking the design from the top and putting it on our face. So it's really, really cool. And the last thing we gotta do, scrape our drips a couple times until it quits dripping. And then this part is done. All right, so we've already sprayed our flag. If you guys want to see how to tape all that off, we'll post a video up here so you guys can go watch that. But now we're gonna do our pink stripe down the middle. Obviously this is for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so we're gonna tape off these outside edges and then spray the pink line. And when you guys are pulling tape, trying to get a straight edge, make sure whoever's holding it is holding each end instead of just one in the middle. It's gonna kind of bow as you pull it. So hold both edges, and then we're gonna basically tape to this line. So he's gonna put his down, and then I'm gonna follow it down because I don't have any marks here. So he'll put his edge down, and then I'm gonna just follow this down. It's an easy way to not have to measure over here. Follow this edge all the way down, and then we'll just lightly press this inside edge in. I don't want to press the whole tape down, just have it stick to the spray paint that I just sprayed. Just this inside edge is all we're worried about. Okay, when I tape this line, I have the line that goes all the way down, so I can kind of just tape this one myself and just follow it down. I want to be right on that edge. We kind of had this bordered out. I just got to run the tape, kind of line all these lines up. Now since this is fresh paint, the black stripes, I don't want to put paper under here and have it maybe stick to that tape, the spray paint that's still a little bit tacky. So I'm going to just hold cardboard up as I'm spraying, or maybe even lay it down. Just missed it. A couple thin coats. We don't want to spray it too thick, but we want to get a solid pink line here, so it might take a couple coats. Okay, so everything's taped off so I don't get any overspray anywhere else. Again, you want to make sure you're not getting overspray on your edges. But obviously I got cardboard everywhere, tape. And again, we're just gonna do a lot of light coats, basically fogging it. That way we don't get a lot of buildup. Okay, here goes the second coat. Put a fan on it, waited a couple minutes. Now we're gonna spray it again. Okay, so we're gonna pull the tape. It's obviously still wet, so I don't wanna touch it, but we can at least get this tape off. And voila. All right guys, final step. So we're gonna be doing our matte urethane on here, and don't worry, if you guys want a high gloss surface, we also have the glaze coat where you can flood coat it, or you can just use your other half of your Leggari art kit and flood coat it with that. We also have the urethane and gloss as well. It does leave a minor orange peel finish, but that's what makes it super durable. The matte lays out pretty smooth and flat, so really, really cool look. Basically takes out all the steps of sanding, epoxy and stuff to get that matte sheen. You can just apply our urethane and get a dull finish. And I'm gonna show you how to do that right here. I'm using a 3/8 snap roller. Already been de-shedded. And I'm just gonna work in sections. I'm not gonna try to coat the whole flag at once. So I'll do like 2-foot section and kind of move down the line. And we're just gonna do about that wide of a section at a time. So run a bead down the middle, and then we're just gonna cross roll it out. And I'm not worried about these roller lines right now. I'm just trying to spread this out nice and even. And then I'll come back and finish it all up nice. Get all these edges coated. And I'll do final back rolls. As many of you know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we wanted to end the month with something special. So we made this custom pink striped flag, and now we want to donate it, but we need your help. Let us know where you think we should donate this custom flag, whether it's an organization, nonprofit, hospital, or even a family member. Write in the comments below, and we'll put all the entries in a drawing and pick one winner. Thank you everyone, and together, let's bring awareness to breast cancer.
We'll be right back.